I'm Lynette Whitecole. I'm the Vice President for Small Business Growth at the New Orleans Business Alliance. The Business Alliance is a public-private partnership with the City of New Orleans. And as part of the small business programming, we administer a program branded InvestNOLA. It's a program that supports the needs of high-growth businesses owned by people of color, which we've had a gap in our ecosystem for that demographic. So the resources that we provide have included advanced level executive management education in partnership with 2 local universities. We work with a number of private and public sector companies to create opportunities for businesses of color. And then finally, we have assembled 3 of our local community development financial institutions, or CDFIs, to provide capital for the businesses that we serve. The program is funded by the J.P. Morgan Chase Foundation, the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, the Cerdna Foundation, as well as other investors. It's actually a part of a national growth accelerator program for entrepreneurs of color, sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase, that's called Ascend, that operates in 14 cities. And New Orleans is one of those cities, as well as 2 cities in France and England. So the final most important piece of InvestNOLA is our CDFI consortium, because we know how important capital is to our businesses here. And so we want to thank the city first and foremost for providing an investment for us to provide a loan fund that we will be telling you a little bit about later in this webinar. But before we get to that, I wanted to make sure that you hear from these CDFIs, so you know that the great work that's being done on the ground in New Orleans by these practitioners. So first and foremost, when the pandemic started, Peter Brooks from New Corp talked about how we would really have a need for businesses, especially those that are in disinvested neighborhoods, to be served. And so he put together a proposal to propose, what we are actually launching today. So Peter, can you tell us a little bit about, why there was such a need for a loan fund like this? And then secondly, give us some information about what you guys are doing at Newport.
Well, thanks so much, Lynette. And also thanks to the City of New Orleans and NOLABA for inviting CDFIs such as New Corp, True Fund, and Lift Fund to the table to provide an alternative to the PPP program. If you all recall, back in March and April of last year, during the height of the pandemic, Congress acted really fast, and they approved 2 rounds of PPP funding, totaling about $650 billion of funding for small businesses to support basically the need to keep people working. It was the payroll protection program. So it had a very limited scope, but also more importantly, it had a very, very short timeline for application processing. The program was open on April 3rd and it closed on April 17 because the funds were fully used. The second round was a little slower and also had some allocations for small businesses and people of color, but still many of our small business people were left out. And because of the rigidness of the application process and the speed of the application process, most of our small businesses were left unprepared and unserved. So what we determined was that there was a need. There was a need for an alternative package, an alternative funding, and also need to support small businesses in the application process. So we created the Essential Needs Fund to support very small businesses and also open up the opportunities for how you use the funds. So we're very, very happy that we have an opportunity to offer that program to our small business clients today.
Awesome.
Now, New Corp.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, no problem. New Corp is a New Orleans-based CDFI founded in 1995. We were founded as a technical assistance provider. And we became a CDFI in 2001, providing microloans through the SBA program as well as TANF to very small businesses. As a result of Hurricane Katrina in 2005, our portfolio and our needs grew as a part of our disaster lending. But at the same time, we put our arms around small businesses and small contractors to make certain that our small business community took advantage of the opportunities to recover and rebuild New Orleans after the storm. So lending is a major part of what we do. Technical assistance is a major part of what we do, but we also provide community development services as well in affordable housing. So we welcome you to come and take a look at what we offer. You can visit us at newcorpinc.com.
Awesome. And then Live Fund is another CDFI here, and Live Fund did its share. I know Jared Woods is the representative for New Corp, and they did their share of PPP loans, even though we know there still were a lot of people left out. So Jared, can you talk a little bit about, how you service people and made sure that people were able to access the federal PPP loans, and then give us a little information about other programs that Live Fund is doing?
Sure. So again, I'm Jared Woods, Regional VP of Lending for Live Fund. In terms of PPP, well, first of all, Live Fund is a non-for-profit organization, CDFI. Our mission is to provide credit and financial services to underserved businesses and communities within our footprint. We accomplish this mission through a suite of loan products that include SBA 7A and SBA microloans. In addition to these loans, our organization provides technical assistance to businesses to better help them understand their business and to better understand how to access capital. And I'm extremely grateful to you, Lynette, and to the City of New Orleans that this work with Live Fund has allowed me to be a part of this group. But in terms of the PPP loan, I don't think the PPP era in my life will ever be forgotten. This program is one of the most beneficial programs for small businesses that the government has ever designed. Even with that being said, I think in the onset of the PPP program, there was a lot of misinformation and a lot of misunderstanding being spread about the program. And there are some very unclear aspects. And I think that made a lot of people apprehensive. So needless to say, we spent a lot of time during the PPP rollout teaching folks about PPP, teaching folks about the forgiveness. And we also spent a lot of time learning about these things ourselves. Looking back, we were able to provide $4.3 million in the entire 13-state footprint. In Louisiana specifically, we were able to provide 103 PPP loans during this time in the GNO area specifically. We spent countless hours helping business owners collect and submit documents to get them ready for the PPP loan, and forgiveness, of course, being imminent and probably the most significant attribute of this product. We hosted several webinars and spoke with hundreds of business owners directly just to get them ready for both phases of PPP. It was a lot of hard work, but it gave business owners a shot in the arm that I think that they needed. And even though we consider our PPP efforts to be a success, we do realize that there were a lot of folks that were left out of PPP for a variety of reasons. So it's imperative that business owners are aware of the resources that are available to them to help them, not just with this, not just with the PPP loan, but this collaboration in itself is designed to provide us as resource providers with more ability to provide resources, a louder voice, and a more unified voice in the community, so that they know that there's help out there and that we can do more together.
Awesome. Thank you, Jared. And Kim Evans is here from True Fund Financial. And True Fund has been responding to disasters. They have a much bigger footprint because of the disasters that they served. And coming to New Orleans after Katrina, they have been a critical piece of providing finance for our small businesses. So Kim, can you talk a little bit about, what you guys have done here in New Orleans and how you've expanded to, other communities to serve the needs of people recovering from disasters?
Yes, thank you, Lynette. And thank you so much for having TrueFund be a part of this most important collaborative. And I also thank Mayor Cantrell for making the investment and affording us the opportunity to once again serve the small businesses of Louisiana, and in particular, those small businesses of New Orleans. TrueFund is a CDFI, and we were birthed out of disaster in New York post 9/11. We entered the state of Louisiana post Hurricane Katrina as an effort to serve small businesses in their recovery efforts after, that, which is one of the most noted hurricanes in our Louisiana history. And as we often say, it's not when, or it's not if there's going to be a disaster, it's when, especially when you're along the Gulf Coast as Louisiana is. So we always stand ready to serve our small businesses. We've been thought partners in the disaster recovery space, one of the most noted and go-to CDFIs in this disaster recovery space, developing products and programs to really support entrepreneurs from getting prepared for that next impending disaster to actual recovery and full restoration, as well as immediate response. As it relates to the COVID-19, which is a national pandemic, TrueFund has been very instrumental across our footprint, serving 6 states, delivering PPP loans to the most disinvested communities, having lent just over $50 million across our footprint. And in particular in Louisiana, we were able to disperse 181 loans for a total of $3.6 million across the state of Louisiana. And so while we have a focus in our headquarters in Louisiana is in New Orleans, we do have the ability to serve both central and northern Louisiana, as well as the southeast region, to include our capital city of Baton Rouge. As I spoke about the various programs that we work with small business owners in getting you prepared for that next disaster, TrueFund has developed a signature program called our Renew Recovery and Resiliency. We assess small businesses to determine if, in fact, you are ready to recover, or if you are a resilient business and have the ability to recover. Some of the things that we look at are, are there the proper insurances in place? Do you have the wherewithal to manage your human resources post a disaster? And is there adequate capital for you to really support your small business if there is, in fact, an interruption? You have the ability to tap into those programs, and they're at no cost to the small business owner. So we absolutely encourage you to tap in, but we are looking and really just elated to be able to serve with this InvestNOLA program. As all of my colleagues have stated, while we were able to lend those dollars in PPP, there was just such a great need, and COVID-19 exacerbated the need in the low to moderate income in those disinvested communities. So we're looking forward to having yet another tool in our toolkit to serve small businesses of New Orleans.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. So we are assembled here to launch the COVID relief InvestNOLA loan fund. And as you just heard from Mayor Cantrell, you've heard the urgent need for financial assistance for our small businesses. The mayor is fully committed to make sure that there are resources and capital available to make sure that our businesses in New Orleans are able to not just survive through the pandemic, but to thrive beyond the pandemic. So we'll get to the basics of the loan fund now. So first, you just met the participating lenders, Lift Fund, New Corp, and TrueFund Financial. So when can businesses apply? The application portal goes live on Monday, August 16th at 12 noon. The website to access the application is investnolarelieffund.org. Now, who is eligible for the program? Small business owners and sole proprietors, businesses that are located in Orleans Parish. That is a mandatory component. You must be located in Orleans Parish. The businesses must have been in operation as of February 15th of 2020 with annual receipts of no more than $500,000 and with fewer than 10 or fewer employees. You can borrow as little as $10,000 and as much as $50,000. The loan amount will be determined in the underwriting process and then based on the need of the business and the business's capacity for repayment. So the terms, you have a maximum loan term of up to 66 months. And again, that term is determined in the underwriting process. There is a fixed 6% interest rate. The first payment will be due 6 months after the loan is dispersed, right? So we will actually be deferring the first 6 months of payment so that we can allow you to utilize the money in a way that will help you to get, your business up and going, and begin to take on revenue before you're burdened with having to begin paying back the loan. And then the final 10% of the principal loan balance may be forgiven at the end of the loan. And I'll put the caveat in there that we intend to do that as long as the loan has been paid as agreed, up to the end of the term. So we are going to focus on several priority areas. So geographically, we are focused on some of the more disinvested commercial corridors, and those would include the 7th Ward, Algiers, businesses located along Bayou Road, businesses in East New Orleans, businesses throughout the footprint of the Hard Rock collapse, and along the North Claiborne Avenue corridor. And I want to stress that we will also give priority to businesses that have not received any federal assistance from PPP loans or EIDL loans or any of the grants that were available from the federal government or the state. So we also received some questions in with registration. So I wanted to address some of those. Many of them were a lot of the same questions. So we've kind of grouped them together. And I'm going to ask the panel to answer some of those questions that we received. So one of the first questions, Peter, if you can address, what can the funding be used for?
Well, I mean, this is an alternative to PPP. So basically, what we've determined is that you decide what your essential needs are. It could be payroll, it could be rent, it could be insurance, technology, subscriptions, insurance. It could be a number of different things. Whatever it takes to operate your business, that is what we are asking you to apply for. And only you know what it would take to operate your business. So this application process is designed to be very, very flexible.
Great. And then another question that several people asked, how long will it take to get your application approved? Jared, can you speak to that?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Our aim is, and our goal is to have loans processed within 3 to 5 weeks of the receipt of all the required documentation. Our applicants will be accepted and processed on a first come, first served basis. So get your application in.
Great. And Kim, can you tell everybody what kinds of documentation we'll be looking for to process the loans?
Sure. So while this is not an exhaustive list, you will first need your completed application, which you can find on the NOLABA InvestNOLA website, in particular to this particular loan product. You'll also need 3 years of your business and personal tax returns so that we can verify the income of your business, as well as your financial statements, so your balance sheets, your P&Ls, your profit and loss statements. Articles of incorporation. Those are the documentation that comes from the Secretary of State's office to verify that you are in fact a viable business. Also your occupational license that you receive from the city to determine that you are a City of New Orleans and Orleans Parish business. We'll also be requesting resumes on all of the owners of the business structure, any additional industry license, so anything that can help substantiate who your business is and the work that you do, such as an 8A certification or any DBE certifications, and then also a photo identification. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is if you did not have this exhaustive list, don't let that prohibit you from going ahead and applying. Please go to the portal, apply for the loan, upload as much as you can, and one of our partners will contact you and work with you to get those additional documents in place, or one of our business advisement or technical assistance partners.
Great, great. So that brings the next question of, will there be assistance for people to help people to get their applications submitted? Jared?
Yes, Lynette, there will be assistance. Applicants will and can receive assistance from each of the CDFI lenders on this call. And we also have a group of local small business assistance providers that we're also working with to assist with this program. A list of those providers will be displayed on the website at www.nolaba.org/investnola loans. Again, that website is www.nolaba.org/investnola loans.
Great. Will borrowers be penalized if they should pay the loans off before the end of the term, Peter?
No, there are no prepayment penalties. In fact, we encourage businesses to prepay. That way, we're able to help other small businesses.
Okay. And Peter, how many loans will we be able to make?
Well, mathematically, it's estimated between 60 to 80 applicants could be funded. However, that depends on the amount of the loans that we serve, and it depends on the timeline. However, just also know that the success of this program may also allow us to receive funding, second round and third round funding for other loans as well. So please apply. And get your applications in and let us serve you. But again, this first round, probably between 60 to 80 loans will be served.
So that was all the questions that we received. And if there are any additional questions that anyone has, feel free to email your questions to us at investnolaloans@nolaba.org. And again, remember the applications go live on Monday, August 16th. At 12 noon. You can access the application at nolaba.org. We will also make the recording of this session available on our website. So for anyone who was not able to attend today, or you need to go back and hear more details, please feel free to visit our website, and we'll have this recording available. But thank you for attending today, and we look forward to accepting your applications.